Hello children, we are together to listen to yet another lovely story, and as I mentioned earlier, English is not to be learned. It is storytelling, it is fun, it's for enjoyment, and that's the whole idea of this video here, that you enjoy the story. When you enjoy the story, you will understand it, and when you will understand it, you will be able to answer all the questions. Right? It's just that simple. So the story that we are going to understand today is Golu grows a nose. Golu is a small elephant who has a small bulgy nose, and his nose grows into a trunk. How does that happen? That is what we are going to find out. Now Golu lives in a time, this story is set in a time when elephants did not have trunks. All they had were bulgy noses, just like pigs but bigger. This young elephant has so many questions about everything. Like you all, young children, he is also curious. So many questions. Don't you ask questions? You go to your elders, what is this, what is that, and what do they say? We don't know. So that is what is happening to Golu. Golu goes to the giraffe and says, why do you have spots? Goes to the baboon and says, why do melons taste like melons? Imagine I ask you, why do mangoes taste like mangoes? Will you be able to answer? No, we don't know why they taste like that. Then he goes to the ostrich and says, why can't you fly? Hippopotamus, why do you have red eyes? So everyone runs away from Golu, and what do they say? They say, oh my God, we don't want to answer these questions. Golu asks such difficult questions all the time. Now Golu has another question. Golu wants to know what the crocodile eats for dinner. So the manna bird suggests that why don't you go to Limpopo River and find it out for yourself. Golu thinks seems like a good option. What's the point of asking everyone when nobody gives me a viable answer? So Golu packs. Golu packs what? 100 sugar canes, 50 dozen bananas and 25 melons. This much. Because he has to go all the way to Limpopo River. He packs his stuff and he tells his parents that he wants to know what the crocodile eats for dinner. I will go find out and then I will come back. On the way to Limpopo River, Golu meets a python. He asks the python if the python has ever seen a crocodile. The python tries to help Golu but falls off the branch, and Golu politely puts the python back on the branch. Finally, Golu reaches Limpopo River and he sees a log of wood. A log of wood, Golu thinks, what is so different about this log of wood? And all of a sudden that log of wood winks. Yes, it is the crocodile. Half in the mud, lazing around, absolutely still and quiet. Golu is confused. He goes to the crocodile and he asks the animal, have you ever seen a crocodile? Imagine, the crocodile has to show crocodile tears to make Golu believe that he is the crocodile. Now what do crocodile tears mean? They mean emotionless fake tears. Now these tears that the crocodile is showing Golu are only to fool him. There is no emotion behind those tears. That is the meaning of crocodile tears. So Golu believes, and then the crocodile says, do you want to know what I eat for dinner? Come closer, come near me and I'll whisper in your ear. Do you think the crocodile will whisper anything in Golu's ear? No chance. The moment Golu goes near the crocodile holds Golu's nose and pulls Golu towards him. And the crocodile says, you are my dinner. I'm going to eat you, baby elephant. Golu says, leave me. You are hurting me. Don't hurt me. The crocodile is trying to pull Golu into the stream to eat Golu. Golu is sitting now on the hind legs and trying to pull away. Then comes the python. The python rolls itself around Golu's body and pulls harder. So there is a huge tussle going on. One side the crocodile is pulling, the other side Golu is trying to get away. And they fight, and finally the crocodile leaves, is defeated and goes away. Golu sits, relaxes on the bank of the river, and what does Golu see? That his nose has stretched stretched so long. Now Golu is worried. It's something abnormal that has happened to Golu. So Golu puts the nose in the water and tries and hopes that the nose would shrink back to its original shape. That does not happen. Golu sat there for 2 days waiting for his nose to cool and shrink. It did not cool. It did cool, but it did not shrink. Now Golu's nose, which was just a small nose, a bulgy one but a small one compared to the one he has now grown 5 feet long. Now Golu realizes that that long nose has some features, something useful. So the moment a fly bites Golu, Golu hits the fly with the nose, the trunk. So Python reminds Golu, whatever happens, happens to give you something good. So now Python says, this is advantage number 1. If you had a small nose, you would not be able to shoo the flies away. Then the Python says, why don't you try and eat something? Golu breaks a twig with his new nose, long elongated nose, and eats the twig. Python says, advantage number 2. You couldn't have done it with a small nose. Don't you think the sun is too hot? So the Python is guiding little Golu as to how to use the trunk properly. So he has been able to swat a fly, he has been able to break food and eat, and the third thing that he does is he scoops some mud and water from the bank of the river and slaps it on his head to make him cool. The Python again, bravo, that's advantage number 3. You couldn't have done it with a small nose. So Golu says, thank you Mr. Python, thank you for making me realize that my nose, even though it's changed in shape, it is more useful to me now. And with this, Golu goes back to his family. I hope you all loved the story of little Golu and how he grew his nose, and how curiosity helps you in discover new things and how new things can be useful. Thank you all for listening to me, and I hope this form of learning, that is learning with storytelling, will suit you and you'll enjoy it even more. All the best.